Hey, welcome to the PetaPixel Podcast. For expert advice, incredible selection, and the best deals on photo, video, and lighting gear, you go to B&H. B&H is PetaPixel's new gear partner. And for even greater savings at B&H, we recommend the B&H Paybu credit card, which lets you save the tax. You pay the tax and B&H pays you back instantly. Save the tax on eligible purchases shipped to eligible states. Or you can pay over time with our 6 and 12-month financing on minimum purchases of $199 for 6 months or $599 for 12 months. Terms apply. Learn more at bhphoto.com/paybu. Credit card offers are subject to credit approval. Paybu credit card accounts are issued by Comenity Capital Bank.
Welcome back to the PetaPixel Podcast, our first episode of Season 5, 2026. We're all here. I'm Jaron Schneider. I'm joined by Chris Niccolls, Jordan Drake.
Hey!
And Sarah Teng is here because we need her thoughts. Because today we're going to be talking about what Fujifilm announced in the last... It's been weird because they announced it. Now. They announced it like in Japan, which sort of just was like, well, they forgot the internet exists, and so like we all know it exists. It just came out in the United States and other territories this week. It's the Instax Evo Cinema. Is that right? Cinema?
Instax Mini Evo Cinema.
Okay, I knew I was going to get that wrong.
Is long.
So we have a lot to talk about, that plus a ton of news, but I'm going to hand it over to Jordan, who's going to kick us off with the first question, I'm assuming.
First question of 2026. I mean, I had a few, but, I've been thinking about music quite a bit lately because Chris and I were just hanging out the other day watching the Golden Globes, and let me tell you about an abomination that occurred, which is best score being handed out during an ad break. I mean, what a nightmare. I love talking movie scores. And then over the break, my son and I were watching Catch Me If You Can, the Spielberg movie, and I was like, this score honks. I'm buying this album immediately. So I'm thinking about that a lot, and I want to know, what are your favorite movie or, in Jaron's case, possibly TV scores? And I'm not talking soundtracks, no music, okay? We're not doing the Austin Powers Spy Who Shagged Me soundtrack here. We're talking scores.
So like original score.
Yes.
Okay.
Instrumental music.
Right. Okay.
Not a Lenny Kravitz upon it.
Right. All right.
I think the score in both My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer is outstanding.
Really?
My Hero Academia gets me hyped every time. But I feel like I'm supposed to pick a Western thing. I feel like what I just...
No, you don't have to. That's why I threw TV in there for you.
We've got lots of opinions here.
Let me think a little bit more. I mean, I do really like most of the scores to Nolan movies.
You got your Zimmer going.
Yeah, they're all really good.
You like foghorns? You like a lot of foghorns? Yeah.
Well, because Interstellar is so spectacular.
Yeah.
So is Inception. Inception's score is really good.
Not The Theory of Everything. That one is good, but I was just thinking of Oppenheimer. That's the most recent, right?
Yeah. Great score.
All good. Although Thin Red Line, I would say that's pretty strong up there too. Okay, why don't I go? I'm going to go old school, man. You cannot beat Clinton's Dances with Wolves. It's everything on there is a banger. It's so good. It's so moving. I love it. I don't care. You guys think Kevin Costner's my dad and everything. That's not true. But yeah, that's a great score. You cannot deny that's a great score. What would be the other one? There was Dances with Wolves and also... I really liked The Fountain. Fountain had a good score.
Great score.
Fountain had a good score.
That's good.
It's on a lot of trailers.
Henry Mansell, he killed it. Yeah. But Dances with Wolves, that'll be mine.
Okay, mine are... Well, I was thinking about some of the Nolan movies, but then I think the first thing that came to my head was like Ghibli movies. So probably like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbor Totoro. Those are my favorite.
Chris has an unnatural hatred for
To
Spirited
Ghibli?
Away. To Spirited Away specifically.
Spirited Away sucks.
Why?
He hates that movie.
We can't get into it. We just can't.
He almost ended a dinner party with this take the other day.
We cannot do it. I'm tired of talking about it.
Hates it.
I just think, it doesn't matter. But this is okay. So, but let's. Jordan, why don't we let you go first here? This is a good question.
I'm just going to throw out there that Ponyo score is amazing as well. Super big orchestral stuff. So I want to quickly shout out 2 new undersung ones that nobody's talking about for score. The score for Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest is unbelievable, like very funky, but like a big band kind of 40s feel to it. I listen to that all the time in the last little while, and I didn't love the movie. I think it's good. It's not great, but the score for Zootopia 2 is brilliant. Really? It's Michael Giacchino, who did like the Mission Impossible 4 score. Michael Giacchino is a genius, yeah. It's so funky and so big, and it rocks the house.
I can't believe I didn't say The Lord of the Rings, by the way. That score is also
good
timeless.
scores, yeah.
But it's that one theme. I can't think of 2 themes in
there's multiple.
Lord of the Rings.
But then
there's an aerial shot where the camera goes around and it goes ba da 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 da.
Yeah.
I don't know the other ones.
Okay, but you know what, like a lot of scores will have a similar kind of beat and a similar kind of melody going through a lot of them, right? Variations on a main theme. And I know that people are allowed to have different opinions than me, even though they're wrong. But I'm just like Zootopia. I don't recall any of that score, and I was awake the whole time, which is rare for me when I'm watching a child's movie. I'm just like, oh please, I'm gonna take a nap. Daddy's gonna have a nap, and then when I wake up, we can leave. But it's like, I don't remember any of it. So like for me, a score's got to be, and I was going to say the same thing about anime. And again, I'm old school anime. I love anime. I think there's some great intro tracks and stuff, which are very cool, but I can't remember many scores to an anime where I'm like, wow, I'd really listen to that again and again and again.
Well, in anime, they sort of force you to. They write the score once, and then for 1,000 episodes, we'll use the same music.
So I'm like, it's hard for me to associate like a really good score. I mean, yeah, like Ghibli films have some really well done scores, but nothing where I'm like, I'm going to put that on repeat and play it back again. Not like Dances with Wolves.
Speak for yourself. I listen to that when I'm like trying to focus on work.
Totally. And so I am speaking for myself. I guess I just don't see that. I've never seen that association with animated film that way, I guess. I don't know.
So before I was berated, I was about to throw down my top pick. So I actually dug through my phone and just checked like what is the most played. And this is the most basic thing ever, but the Social Network score. If we're talking about variations on a theme, I put that on to work, focus all the time. So and
makes
it's
you feel like you're in the movie.
Yeah, just stands on its own completely. I love that album to death. So that's my number 1.
Severance is good too.
Oh, Severance is a great theme. Yeah.
A random one that I've been listening to is Past Lives.
Oh, I love that. Oh, don't get me started. I love that movie to death.
Don't get me started.
But this is a huge point of contention.
All right.
Sarah, we should hang out and talk scores in movies sometimes. There seems to be a lot of crossover.
Right.
Well, that was an excellent intro. Let's get into the news then. Let's get started.
So 2026, I think it's going to be an exciting year, and we always have very interesting products and projects that we want to cover over that year, and the only way that we can do that is with your support at home. So this is a shameless request for your support at home. Please consider getting a PetaPixel membership. Please. I need it. I need my brain medicine, and it's expensive. So please, we need your support so Grandpa can have his brain medicine, but also so we can do some really interesting projects. And this isn't just for Jordan and myself. This also supports the writing team. Lots of cool stuff that we can do. Sarah Teng's products. Why do I keep saying products?
I don't know.
Man, I'm having a hard time. Jaron, save me.
We're out of practice.
So for $3 a month or $30 a year, that's not much. Really?
Yes.
I mean, I actually put this out on PetaPixel in a comment because some people still don't know we have this. And the actual response to the price was, wow, that's actually really reasonable. Yeah, it really is. It's entirely designed to make it super reasonable and just a really light, simple way for you to support what we do here. And Chris is right. With your support, we've been able to do some projects that we wouldn't have been able to do before. Like last year, one of our most popular videos was when we all went to see the telescope in South America, in Chile. And that was entirely self-funded. And you have to understand, that's very expensive.
Yes.
And we flew in the worst seats possible because we were really pinching pennies there. And that flight was miserable. But we did it because we wanted to share that story. And there's lots of things we do just like that. Also, bear in mind, anytime like there's a major like smartphone launch, like an iPhone or something like that, we have to cover all of our own costs to make that happen and bring you that information. And we really appreciate those who support us. But we're not just asking for money. You get stuff when you sign up for a PetaPixel membership.
You actually get money back, don't you? Like it's pretty wild.
You do. So you get discounts on used purchases at KEH that will be typically more than enough to cover the cost of like the shipping. You also get $15 immediately to spend at the Moment store. By the way, Moment doesn't just sell smartphone cases; they sell like full-on cameras. Like they're a Fujifilm
filters,
dealer.
really useful product.
Yeah, you
bags.
like the filter holder. You like.
I love the filter holder for Moment. Yeah, and actually their filters are really nice. Yeah.
They have clothing now. They actually have a photographer vest you can buy. I know because we're about to test it, and Jeremy's getting it shipped to him, so I know it exists. And then also we have sample galleries. Every new production, camera and lens that Chris and Jordan review, we put a sample gallery up, JPEGs and RAWs, so that you can make the decision yourself if you think it's worth the money. So you don't just have to take their word for it. I hope you do, but you can also double check their work.
I do. Again, I just have to say, Jaron, I do appreciate that you also put out like, when we use this money for these projects, we don't go baller. Like we really do make the most of it, stretch it out as far as we can. So just want to assure you guys at home watching and listening that, we really try to make that as efficient as possible and go as far as possible because we know it's your hard-earned cash and we really appreciate the support.
So in the link in the description below, you can sign up for a PetaPixel membership, and I guarantee you that there will be more stuff coming this year. I won't go into details on it now, but we're working on something as soon as like next week. We're
cool stuff.
Building stuff specifically for members. So get ready for that. We hope you will be excited about it.
And it's nothing Chris has been teasing.
No.
I don't even know about that. This is news to me.
What could it be?
Yeah, who knows? But with that,
clearly we need to hire other people too, because I need to be put out to pasture and turned into glue. So and dog food. Like that's clearly I'm at
glue
that point
and
now.
Dog food.
Dog food.
Could you imagine a dog choking on that hair? I mean, that is a hazard. We can't do dog
No, this
food.
would get turned into glue, obviously.
Okay. Well, let's start with the news.
right.
We finally got pricing on we got teased last year that we were getting a Ricoh GR Monochrome, GR4 Monochrome. We got pricing, and Chris has reviewed it.
Yes.
This is $700 more than the base model.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What does that come to? I forget the actual
So
final price.
$1,500 is what the standard GR4 model is. This is $2,200. That's quite the premium.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I really like the Ricoh GR4. I think it's a fantastic platform. I think they made some very meaningful changes, quality of life improvements, returning to an old style of handling, which I think is better. New lens, sharper to the corners. Like it really is the best iteration of the GR cameras, even smaller, more pocketable. So there's a lot to love about the camera. And this is they always make weird versions, right? They've always made HDF versions, like different filters that they play with. But this is the first monochromatic GR, which makes a ton of sense creatively. I loved using the camera. I think it makes so much sense for this sort of compact, pocketable camera. I think it gives us a real alternative to like a Qs and Ms, which kind of traditionally were the only other monochrome cameras, other than, of course, the Pentax K3 monochrome, which is a very niche product. So I think it's a great fit. I really enjoyed using it, but it's a big cost increase to get black and white. And I mean, a lot of people out there don't like monochromatic cameras anyways, because they feel, they're not versatile and you're paying more for, in a lot of cases, less, right? You're getting an image quality improvement and you're limited to black and white. For some people, that's exactly what they want. For others, that's a huge no-no. So I get it. And it's a big price increase, and I still think Ricoh is going to sell them all.
We should remember there was actually a pretty big outcry over the price of the GR4 standard when that first came out. But like jumping from 900 initial list to 15 was a big jump there. So again, this is a little more sticker shock. But like Chris said, they can price it high because they'll sell them all.
And all cameras are getting like just out of control pricing right now. The world we live in, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. Sarah, do you personally see value in a monochrome camera like the GR4?
Not really, but I'm also not I don't think I'm the best person to ask because I don't really shoot that much in monochrome. I get the value and like kind of like almost forcing yourself to be constrained in that way, but like I don't know. I'm just like, why not just do it after the fact and choose which one you want to turn black and white, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Yeah, the target audience is limited, and that's but there are a lot of photographers out there that exclusively shoot black and white, right? That's their thing, and so in that. Then it makes perfect sense. Like, of course, they're going to have M11 monochromes and they're going to have, Q3 monochromes and stuff. It's like that totally makes sense for them. And so this would make a lot of sense for them too. And this is the only pocketable monochromatic only camera on the market right now, as far as I know. So there's that too. And there is an image quality improvement. We weren't able to evaluate the Ricoh GR4 monochrome fully because it is still pre-production, but
is it a noticeable difference?
Yeah.
It is typically.
Definitely.
It's like for other monochrome sensors.
Yeah.
There's a
you generally
noticeable
get
difference.
a stop better or almost a stop better performance. So, the theory would be that this APS-C camera will shoot black and white quality much like a full frame camera would in black and white mode.
And for an extra $700, right?
It's a lot.
Yeah, then you have to ask, is it worth it? Because you're getting that, but you're also losing the ability to shoot in color if you wanted to.
Correct.
Yes.
Because you could also just turn your regular Ricoh GR4, you could just turn on the monochrome mode,
Correct.
right?
And is that extra stop of light really worth it?
I would argue on APS-C it's more worth it than on full frame, so there's that, but I know. Yeah. It's a tough pill to swallow, but people like me are going to swallow it, all of it, the whole thing. Yum.
Okay. So, next thing, Fujifilm sort of quietly, I don't know if it was actually technically announced. I haven't found any official press materials for it. We only just got confirmation from Fujifilm like on email. But they are releasing an all-white X-Half exclusively in China. When we first saw these images, I was like, are these AI generated? Because some of the images are like, what is happening to like the glass in the background? It looks so weird. In the one of the images that we published, you can see like this pillar underneath this table, and the pillar and the table and the camera, like they all appear to be on different focal planes.
True.
And the pillar itself has like wobbly pixels. So I don't know what happened to these images, but I can tell you this is real. I think, if anything, this should show that you can make a pretty camera if you want to, Fujifilm, that's not charcoal, silver, tinted green, or black. Like, there are other colors. This one's quite nice.
I like it.
It looks
I like
nice.
it. Yeah.
Why only China?
They did not tell me why. I'm guessing a couple of reasons why it wouldn't come out west is this camera is not selling particularly well in North America. That's actually somewhat related. I'll just go ahead and tie that in right now. Adorama is literally giving this camera away right now. If you buy an XT5 kit, you can they just give this to you.
That's
Here you go.
wild.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
It's a $650 value after, the discount, because it was originally, I think this was an $800 camera.
$850, yeah.
Yeah, now it's $650.
When did
Still,
they lower the price?
last December, November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know the specifics of Adorama, but working in the camera business, there's zero margins, like next to zero margins. So would Adorama actually be giving away the X-Half free, or is Fujifilm doing something with them to say you can do that? I don't know.
It's not there anymore. I will say.
Okay, it's not
I'm on the
anymore?
website right
Okay.
now. I'm wondering if they got their wrists slapped.
Because otherwise you'd lose a ton of profit. But maybe they're just like, please get these out of the warehouse. We're tired of paying rent.
I'm wondering if Adorama had pulled that the trigger themselves because I asked B&H, who we work with, and it's like, are you guys going to do this? And I didn't get a response on that. I didn't see this deal anywhere else, and now it's not there anymore. So
But it's a pretty camera. It's a pretty camera. The original's beautiful, right? I mean, that's one of its biggest appeals. It's really well designed physically. And we already know, it's a known fact that Asia's just, they're so much better with like enjoying different colors and fun styles. And in North America, we seem to be kind of conservative and boring when it comes to that. We like a little bit, but not a lot. So yeah, it's funny that it won't be here, but I get it because I don't think this would really do well in North America, even if it is a different color.
That's fair. Yeah.
I would like to see Fujifilm take more color liberties in the future on cameras that I can buy. This is now the second special edition region locked Fujifilm camera in like the last 3 months. The first one was the Fragment one in Japan only, that has a special finish on the GFX 100 RF.
Oh,
right.
So
yes.
That one wasn't nearly as like overtly different physically.
That was more of an artist collaboration kind of thing, right? Yeah.
But like, come on, the white's nice. I want green.
Do you want to Ghost XT5? Is that what you want? Or
Well, here's the thing. I actually don't want a white camera because I have my hands. I feel like my PlayStation controllers that are dark, I can see them discoloring it after using it for a long time. It's disgusting, but it happens. I guarantee you I would make this look gross very fast.
Wow.
All right. So I finally got to publish this story. Chris and I heard them say it. Gosh, when was that? Like October?
2024 at this point?
No, it was not.
That was a long time ago.
No. This was Australia, right?
Yeah. So we were in Australia and we asked them this and they finally approved all the quotes and it took them a while. But they basically said, I don't know what we're going to do with Pentax. That's the way to kind of compress the statement down is we don't know how to make the DSLR cool again. Sarah, how do you make the DSLR cool again?
I don't know if you can.
So that's essentially what they said is like, we haven't figured out how to do it yet, but we're trying. And it's just like, okay. So this doesn't inspire tons of confidence, but the fact that they've combined the GR team and the Pentax team into one team, and I got the sense that wasn't like a hugely popular internal move. The Ricoh people and the Pentax people think very differently, and they don't necessarily want to collaborate.
But they're forcing them to work together, which I think is a positive thing, right? Because there's going to be innovation, there's going to be good ideas, and maybe it will actually come to something if they're combined together and working together. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, DSLRs are cool. Their SLRs are cool, but I don't think they have the sort of nostalgic cachet yet to really make people want to dive in for that experience on purpose. And yeah, they're bulky and they're large and they're not, really any more affordable if we start making new ones. So I don't know what Pentax is going to do.
Maybe they should just make more film cameras, like new film cameras.
I mean, we've given them lots of suggestions, right? Like we've said many times, Pentax should make a vintage-inspired mirrorless camera, like that looks like a classic SLR. Or, like you say, Sarah, get him back into filmmaking, film cameras, So, I don't know, we'll see.
I think they still have a real issue in that there's still plenty of new Canon and Nikon or almost new DSLRs still floating around. Like I almost feel like if they hold on and you cannot buy a new one in a store, the only option is Pentax, then that's going to help them quite a bit. But I can still go buy like a Nikon D780 for the same price. And it's like, that thing rocks. Yeah. So it makes things difficult.
The 60 Mark II is still like technically a supported camera in the United States.
Sure.
Like, you can buy them brand new.
And the used camera market's huge. Like here's the question to the listeners at home and for you guys too is like, let's say Pentax said, hey, we're going to re-release the K1000. Just for example, we retool it. It's a classic film camera. Everybody learned on it. We're going to re-release it. I'm sure some people would buy it, but would that many people buy it? Given that there's probably already K1000 still running all over the place. I mean, they made the camera too good, I guess. Too durable.
Shrug.
I don't know. I don't know. Would you buy one today? It wouldn't be cheap.
The suggestion that Pentax just stop making cameras.
Jaron.
I said make optics. Just make lenses for other mounts. Like I think that's a route you could go. Make fixed lens cameras. If they're really focused on this whole idea, on like seeing the actual subject not through a video screen. So they don't want
right.
to use mirrorless. So like, okay, fine, go rangefinder then, or go like viewfinder that's offset. Like the Pentax 17 has a viewfinder. Do that on a digital camera. Just find some way to be interesting. I think the issue that the DSLR has is, yes, it's older, but it's not so old like film where it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it will ever reach that state, because there's nothing inherent about the DSLR except the click that you can't get elsewhere.
Correct.
But they're committed. They made a mission statement that we will be the last running DSLR maker, right? Maybe they don't have to give that up.
And then?
A lot of people want them to remake compact point and shoots, or release new compact point and shoot cameras and pocket cameras like
That'd be cool.
the MX1 and stuff. Yeah, like the MX1 and stuff with the brass and everything. Like, but again, I don't think that camera did that well. I don't know.
Here's the other thing too to consider. Some folks are like, Pentax is so quick to forget like how nice the Pentax 17 was. They aren't. I actually do not think that camera did as well as people think it did. It was popular from like the philosophy of it.
It was brave.
I don't think they sold enough of them to really feel like they could cover the cost that it took.
This is Pentax 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a runaway success.
It was
But
not.
I think they could do better on another one.
So that's the question. What do they have to do that? Because if you
Not
remake
make
a
it
brand
half
new,
frame.
you want one for real, but it can't be something that you can just buy on the used market really easily. Like, there's so many used film cameras. Like, why would you buy a new film camera that costs more if it does the same thing that the used ones do? That was why they went with the fixed lens half frame, is because it's somewhat unique in the market.
Time to bring back the Q series.
Yeah, well, didn't they say they didn't want to do that to us, Chris?
No, they don't want to do any of this stuff, man.
Yeah. I think the exact quote when you asked them about that, it was, to be frank, both of those were like, they talk about the K1 and the Q series. To be frank, both of those were sensational cameras, but they were not a success. It was the response to your request for that. Yeah. So they're not going to do that either.
I mean, let's be clear. No one's asking for a new KO1 for the love of God.
No, the KO1 needs to burn in hell for all eternity. Yeah.
But you want the Q.
Yeah, the Qs are great, cute, fun. I think people would dig that. It's like if it was digital, like just like a small new digital camera with good improvements to image quality and stuff. Like, still small sensor, little chips, but the lenses are adorable and stuff. Like, why not? Anyways, I don't know.
All right, moving on. You can buy a GoPro branded
something
laptop.
else people might not buy.
Yeah, this is a very confusing launch to me. GoPro announced a laptop that they're making I'm using the word making, very, very like giving it a lot. Yeah, it's essentially an existing Asus laptop that now has GoPro branding on it with like blue LEDs that you can't get on the standard version. There's nothing about this laptop, like hardware wise, that Sarah's facial expressions on this are
it just costs you more money. I hope it costs more money.
It costs more money. Oh yes, it's more expensive.
Okay, great.
It doesn't come with a GoPro.
Right.
It's not a rugged laptop.
Okay.
It's the same computer that you can get without these accoutrements, the blue accoutrement.
Damn. But if you threw some like Red Bull stickers on that, yes, please.
Sarah, tell me how you really feel with your sounds and your facial expressions.
I'm reading the article. I like, what is the selling point? I'm like, maybe Asus needed help and they reached out to GoPro. I don't know. Like, how did this happen?
The case is cool, but they could just sell the case. Like, hey, look, here's an action camera laptop case with a sleeve for your selfie stick in the back and some foam cutouts. Great.
Separate purchase.
Here's the thing about these laptops, though, and Chris, this hasn't changed since you used your jet engine. These don't perform if you're not plugged into a wall. Their performance gets
sucks
slashed because they don't have enough power to run the 4000 series GPU in there and the chip. So like these pictures of people editing in the field, what are you editing? Because you're certainly not getting the performance you paid for.
You're writing out on a spreadsheet things to edit later when I can get to a wall plug. That's what they're typing out there.
I would like to research, because I have to admit, I mean, I've been out of the game now as far as PC laptops go, because I've been through a lot. I have used Gigabytes, I've used Asus, I've used MSIs, like I've used them all. and they've all been great back in the day, but I have not used one in many years now because they suck. They're loud. The power requirements don't work on airplanes. They will throttle themselves based on heat very quickly, and then you lose performance even if they are plugged in some cases. And I don't know, but maybe the new computers are getting better from PC, and I want PC to do great, but
I hate to break it to you, but the answer's no.
The answer's no.
We've been testing laptops. Like, we try to do laptops with the same level of detail that we do like Apple products,
right?
With benching and like reviewing. It is a nightmare. None of these computers bench correctly because they're all running like third party, I guess first party. It depends on where you're looking at it from. It's not just Windows. They have their own software built into them. So Asus has its own software running in the background. Razer has its own software running in the background that's required to do most of the things that the laptop claims to do. And that thing is so inconsistent from model to model. And they don't bench correctly. We, I think, have a ProArt laptop that we've been trying to bench for 4 months, and it just will not bench right. We can't publish the numbers because they're inaccurate. So we'd either publish bad inaccurate numbers or keep trying to get the bench to run correctly. And at this point, we're essentially like, we can't bench them. We cannot tell you how this performs versus something else, and it's really frustrating.
I wonder how many people must be jumping ship like I kind of did. I mean, I do still use PC for all my big work editing at home on a desktop because I love it, But yeah, for portability, I just don't take it anymore. And I wonder how many creators are still looking at it. I've never complained about the performance until it throttles. But and the screens are great. There's no problem there because the screen's a screen. But yeah, man, the power consumption, the noise, the heat, it's just brutal.
All right, here's something fun. Nikon announced a new lens. It's a kit lens. It's a 24-105 f4-7.1 that is really meant to go with the Z5 II. I believe that makes 3 possible kit lens options for this camera. What do we think? Jordan, you wanted to review this lens. You're like, can we get that?
Yeah, I think it's actually quite interesting because buried in there, like I think the focal length is great for a starter lens, but buried in the press release is that this can do half life-size macro at the telephoto end, which is going to be really great for like a first lens. You are kind of getting like a 1-2 punch there, and it's extremely light. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but this thing is small.
350 grams.
Yeah, and I do think it's worth occasionally touching on some of these kit lenses and seeing how they're stacking up. It's something we tend to ignore because it's not sexy, but the majority of the people buying this camera are going to be getting one of the kit lens options there. So, I think it is very interesting, and I would love to double back on it. I know they're not going straight out to reviewers immediately, and we're not going to look at it unless we can shoot charts with it. But when that happens, I do think it's actually going to be worth taking a look at.
Sharp.
I'm sure it is sharp.
Good.
What was that, Sarah?
The photos look good.
Yeah.
But when's the last time a lens came out from an OEM that wasn't sharp? You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while. It's slow. It's slow.
Yeah.
It's going to be $550. We need affordable optics, and slow is not as big a deal as it used to be. So I'd like to play with it too, but I wasn't like, oh my god. I loved. Nikon has such a great history with their 24-120s, like their f4s, which were just such great lenses. Still are great lenses, and like that's hard to
best-selling
beat.
lens, according to Jaron.
And I know it's bigger and it's heavier and it's more expensive, but man, it's just so good. But having good macro in a kit lens is a nice feature to have for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Just a quick note. If anyone was paying attention to Japanese reporting or some rumor sites, you may have seen that the Olympus OM-D E-M10 Mark IV was appearing discontinued from a couple of the larger camera stores in Japan. We have confirmed that this is a rather
regional.
So Yodobashi plays fast and loose with the term discontinued, and it's essentially what they'll toss on something if they can't get more of them. They're like, well, fine, it must be discontinued if we can't buy them, but it's not discontinued. And there's been I have 3 examples of them doing this recently. The 60 Mark II DSLR, they did this way back in 2024. They said it was discontinued. You can still buy it brand new today, so that wasn't true. More recently, the 24 to 70 f2.s, the original Nikon one, they said that was discontinued too. The second that the new one was announced, that's not true. Right. And then the Pentax K33 they marked as discontinued last year, but that is also not actually discontinued. So they do this on occasion.
Right.
OM System tells us that they have no current plans to discontinue the OM-D E-M10 Mark IV in the United States or North America. So. The thing is, this is the one camera that could actually use a replacement, right?
Yeah.
It's the only camera in their line that, besides the original OM1, which I don't count because that got an OM1 Mark II, that says Olympus on there still. So this is due to be, quote, refreshed, which to me means an USB-C port and the words OM System on it. They will change nothing else. And then resell it for however much they want to. And
does this still have the old USB port on it?
Oh,
it's still a micro. Yeah.
Wow,
So-
it is still okay. So
Crazy.
it's gonna be updated.
But this is Taylor Swift's favorite camera. So.
This was
Right.
my first camera when I first started.
Oh.
When I first got a mirrorless camera, it was the Mark II. But like, I had this camera all throughout college before I bought my first Sony.
There you go.
And
I love it. It was like, it's one of, I mean, I still have it at home actually at my parents' house. I should use it again. But it's so tiny and it was really capable, great colors. I loved it. I used it every day for a really long time until I upgraded, but it was my first mirrorless anything.
I still have a pet theory that they don't want to change the name of this because when people Google what is Taylor Swift's camera, they want it to be the same model number that is currently for sale, where if they turn it into an OM System OM10, then they're not going to sell as many, right? That's my theory.
Right.
not really
But it
that
has to be.
conspiratorial.
It has to be updated. It has to be updated.
The USB thing might be the biggest issue. I don't know.
It's tough because I'm skeptical that they would make many big changes, only because historically we've seen them do this with the other cameras where it is very minor changes, as you pointed out, Jaron. So as much as they should change it and need to change it, is it going to sell well if the marketing's not there? And is it going to sell well if nothing's changed? I don't know. We're still kind of with OM System wanting them to start making some interesting new products. They have to some degree, absolutely, but
not nearly as dramatic
we
enough
want to
for
see more.
frequent.
We want to see more.
All right, last story of the week. This one sort of dropped on us last second. By the time you're listening to this podcast, which is coming out on Thursday, this is not new news anymore, but it's new to us. Apple announced Creator Studio, the long-awaited answer to Adobe Creative Cloud. Maybe. We're still sort of like unclear on a lot of the very specific details on this, but the overarching thing here is that they now have a whole suite of creative and working apps that all tie together and are through one subscription. You can still get them separate, most of the things separate. That's not true in every case, but they don't come with some features, which are the AI-based ones, so similar to what Canva did with Affinity. There's some inconsistencies. There's no Photomator in here, which is odd. In fact, there's not a lot of photo editing capability in this Creator Studio at all. Pixelmator can do some, but it's not its strength.
Right.
There's not a ton of new features in anything. There's a couple new things, but it's mostly that they've been bundled together. And while Pixelmator is now on iPad, you can't get Pixelmator on iPad as a standalone. It's only available if you get it as part of a subscription. But that is back and forthable. Like you can go from the iPad to the computer to iPad back and forth. But Jordan, what can't you do still?
So my big number one wish is to be able to properly round trip Final Cut between desktop and iPad. I have this glorious fantasy in my mind of editing a video and then I pass it off to Chris and he does like some sketches because I like those effects quite a bit. He puts the photos where Chris wants the photos to be beautifully formatted, EXIF data right in there. Then he passes it back to me and I finish the whole project off, and it seems like a very sensible workflow, which is still unavailable. And
This is a weird exclusion, right? It's weird.
It really is.
Weird. I mean, it'll happen eventually, but so Final Cut Pro for Mac and then for iPad, it's still separate software, right? Like in a lot of cases, but they're trying to make the interface the same. Is that what they're doing? Like I know beat detection's now been added to both and stuff like that. Like there's obviously some attempt to, I don't know, collectively bring all these things more in line. Is that true?
The feature-wise, yes. The interface, though, is still very separate on them. And like you said, Chris, when I was like, oh, I could maybe see beat detection being useful if I had photo-only montages, but I don't love cutting, like doing the cut on the edit. I like the action within the clip to happen during it. And I think that's kind of a lost art at this point. So that's not terribly useful for me. And yeah, you were like, oh yeah, I've had that, because I haven't taken a look at Final Cut for iPad in a little while. It's coming to desktop. The headline feature is this will build montages for you automatically, but only on iPad. So I could dump all my footage over to Chris, say, hey, make me a montage, and he could pass it over to me. But then if we want to edit it past that point, it is now locked into Final Cut for Mac. I mean, it just, everything else, they're like, oh yeah, Logic is going to round trip, no problem. Same thing with Pixelmator.
What is the holdup? I don't get it.
It's very
We're
odd.
using the same silicon now. The iPad Pro uses the same chip. I don't understand. There's got to be something that they won't tell us, which is they are often quite not super transparent about why things don't do the things you want to do. They move it to then why they're happy about what they do. But but just I would really like to know what the holdup is. What is stopping this?
But I guess we should put out, we're looking at $13 a month or $130 annually, right? 1 month free trial. They're going to have some student pricing and stuff like this. Great.
The student pricing is really aggressive.
Very good. $30 a year.
Classic
They've always
Apple.
been good that way.
It's a PetaPixel.com membership. So if you guys are students out there, just get a PetaPixel.com memberip.
Why do you lie? It confuses the audience.
But anyways, it's the exact same price.
That's true.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
I thought you were saying that you get
thought I was
Apple
lying. No.
as part of the PetaPixel membership.
Oh, hell no.
You're
I'm
conflating.
I'm saying get PetaPixel.com membership instead of the Apple student thing.
Because if we're talking about how incredibly affordable the Apple pricing is, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But you know, okay, so the marketing standpoint, the salesman speak would be, now that we can bring this all into subscription thing where of course everything will be automatically updated all the time and you get all these, then the idea, the promise would be that we can now integrate these platforms very shortly in the future more effectively, right?
I didn't know.
Wait,
Right?
so if
that was Adobe was always like, moving to subscription, everything will be integrated and will be a barrage of constant updates. That hasn't really been the case.
And they still stink at doing mobile to desktop video editing. That still stinks. And has stunk forever. So it's not just Apple that can't seem to do it. Adobe hasn't been able to do it for 15 years.
When I was saying after this, I do think Apple has put themselves in the same position Adobe did, where Lightroom CC and Lightroom Classic, apparently there's something beneath the hood where they just can't integrate that. So great. Apple can look forward to developing two completely different sets of video editing software that don't play nice to each other. I hope they can find a workaround.
Nice.
What were you going to say, Sarah?
Well, I was gonna if like Final Cut Pro is moving to subscription, what happens to my version that I bought?
So you have a standalone purchased. Okay, so from my understanding, the language on the website is very confusing. I'm sure we'll have sorted this out by the time this is published, but my understanding now is that you will continue to get feature updates that are not AI based. So if there's an AI based tool at all, it'll be grayed out in your menu that you can't use it unless you subscribe.
Wow.
But if you don't want those, nothing about what you're doing should change. So at least Apple is giving you the option to outright purchase software still, even if it doesn't get all future features. But because like Adobe didn't do that. As soon as they went Creative Cloud, they're like, CS users, goodbye.
Yeah.
Here, at least, they're like, we'll still update them. We're still offering them a standalone. In most cases, like I said, you can't get the Pixelmator iPad app separately.
We don't know what the improvements will be, but like that kind of worries me because as an iPad user, right, I'm in this feeling like none of the software is where it needs to be, right? And I'm paying right now for subscription for Final Cut Pro for iPad because I use it on a regular basis. I like it, but it still has a lot of work that needs to be done. And so am I going to now be forced to basically more than double my subscription cost, because that's Canadian, $60 a year. Am I right to be more than double my cost now to keep using Final Cut iPad? And again, these questions might have been answered. I wasn't part of.
I don't know the answer to that now. But
so
maybe by the
we'll
time
know.
you've read this, we will know. Jordan?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, like, if Sarah does lose the ability to cut videos to the rhythm of her songs, she's out of luck if she wants to keep using her current version of Final Cut.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to move to iPad. No, that'd be crazy.
It's not crazy, but it's just not quite there yet.
The next podcast will probably be a little bit more clear on how this works.
Yeah.
So we'll loop back to this. Let's get on to the next thing that we really want to talk about. So that was sort of main story part 1. Main story part 2, we have a new camera on the market, and it's really weird. Chris, is this the best Instax camera ever?
This is so weird. And I mean, yeah, I want Sarah's opinion on this because, like, the first thing I'm going to say, I actually really enjoyed this camera. And I will be the first to say, and I'm sure you've heard it before in the reviews, like, Instax isn't really my thing, right? I get why it's popular. I get why people think it's fun. I don't. Unlike, certain people's opinions about Ghibli movies, I'm not going to jump down anybody's throat about using Instax. Like, go for it. It's fun. It's cool. It's getting you shooting photos. I fully support that. And we've used a lot of them. And they are fun, innovative tools in some ways. But I've never seen the appeal until I used this camera, and I was like, oh, this actually I feel is giving me good value for the dollar. It's not super cheap. It's just like over $400 US, but it's not crazy expensive. I mean, a compact point and shoot would be in that same kind of realm. And I guess what impressed me about this camera is, first off, when you touch it, it feels really cool and it feels really nice, and it's not a toy camera feel at all. All the dials feel really nice. The knurling on the metal's high quality. The accessories are cool.
Fujifilm's industrial design is just...
Yeah. Beautiful. And they did a great job of making a modern camera that still captures the spirit and nostalgia of an old cinema camera. And on top of that, when I then started playing with it, I was surprised by how much depth there is, because the fact of the matter is most Instax cameras I play with are fairly shallow experiences, right? It's the same kind of lens that we've seen before on a lot of them. And, it's going to be a very basic camera. You get into the Evos, you get into the Pros, like you get a little bit more stuff. But this was by far the most deepest and rich kind of experience that I've had with a Fujifilm camera. And it can do printing, it can do photography, and it can do video now, kind of, sort of. Like, I feel like they've done something innovative. They've done something that really changes I'm not going to say game changer, but it does change the Instax game a little bit. And there's nothing else like it on the market. And they found a creative way to make you able to share videos like you would normally share photos, which I think is kind of fun.
Sarah?
I'm supposed to be the one that hates this. Like,
yeah, this is fascinating because Sarah, rebuttal.
I don't disagree, but I don't think I love it as much as you do, which, yeah, I'm shocked at, because usually this would be flipped.
Right?
Because I brought it with me in a lot of different scenarios. Like, I just had it in my bag, and I never really had the desire to take it out because, I mean, I guess, to be fair, I think I always had it with me at night, and, like, we just know, like, low light, what's the point? It's not really going to come out.
Right.
Even though it does have a flash, I didn't really get a chance to use it that much, but it was just really obnoxious to use the flash in a dark room, so I didn't. So, yeah, I don't know. It just, like, I think it's fun, but how much would I actually use it is my biggest question, right? I think I have struggled in the past, way back when Instax and Polaroids first came out, I used them all the time. But I think now in my adulthood, I don't know what to do with these physical photos anymore. And so it's hard for me to be excited about, like, even, like, printing. I think the concept is really cool because, like, I have watched the videos from this after scanning the QR codes. But I don't know, like, I think the physical plus digital is hard for me to get behind because I really only interact with the digital piece of it. So then why not just use something else? It's fun, though. Right. I'll give you that. But I think it's just hard for me to find the right use case.
I want Jordan's opinion about this. I just want to preface this because, like, when we first got this camera to play with, I was surprised. Jordan, I expected to review this camera because, you know, it's based off of like a vintage video camera. And he's like, Chris, I want you to play with it. So I was curious that you kind of stepped back because this seems like it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also not to a degree. Like, I mean, the technical specs on this are not really compelling. I don't shoot a bunch of vertical video, and it does feel incredibly weird to hold this horizontal is something I realized. Especially
what did you say it was, Chris? It was gangster style?
Gangster style, yeah, man. It's cool, dude.
Gangster style with the viewfinder as well just feels incredibly unnatural. But what really turned me around when we were doing the review is the response from other people. Like, we brought it to a Polaroid themed bar, Leopold's Tavern, and the staff there were all like, oh my God. And then you can like scan this QR code and watch the little video. And then I brought it up to a birthday party. There were some musicians there and the exact same thing. Like, I gave Birthday Boy a print of him playing drums, and then you can scan that and he watches himself play drums. It's pretty great. And even a local cinematographer / AC, Alexis Moore, was there, and she's like, you know what? This is fun. And the same thing you were saying, Chris, like, it doesn't feel like a toy. Like spinning the little spring, what would have been like your spring winder to spit the print out is incredibly satisfying. It's not like the Instax, or not the Instax, sorry, the X-Half, where they had a winder that felt like it was detached from anything. It goes like crick when you do it.
So they put a real spring in there.
It feels great.
It's great.
And with the excitement of other people, like, I had no desire to pick up the camera and start shooting until I started giving people the prints, and they were all like, oh, that's really cool. So it was other people's enthusiasm that actually sold it on me, as opposed to just my own enjoyment using the camera. Because I do think a bunch of the filter effects are janky. The sensor's way too small. The resolution is absolutely terrible. All those things that, like, my PetaPixel reviewer hat say I should talk about, but really don't matter when it comes to this product.
Yeah, Instax Mini's always been crap. Instax Mini's never been good quality. I don't care what people say.
The sensors in all of their Evo cameras have always also been not great.
I'm surprised you found the filter effects janky, because I actually found the filter effects to be very interesting and very well done. I was surprised. So for those that don't know, the whole concept of this camera is it looks like a classic vintage video camera. And thank you, Sarah. Yeah, perfect. You can see there's that big dial and you get all the decades. We're not allowed to call it era because of that person that owns an OM.
Yeah, I actually wanted to bring that up.
Mark IV.
I don't think they really would have had a copyright or trademark issue because it's not the same market, but they were concerned enough about Taylor Swift's eras that they didn't want to call it eras in the United States.
They're gens.
Which is hilarious.
She has come up a lot this podcast.
Objectively funny that this was a real concern they had. Yeah. But anyway, continue.
But anyway, so you choose a decade from 1930 to 2020. Those are your options. There's a whole bunch on there. And each decade has a distinctive look. And then you can change the strength of that look with the dial in front where the lens is. And this will change things like saturation, overall softness. It will also accentuate certain sort of period-specific effects. What else is cool about this camera is it will apply audio filters based on the era. So like 1930s, your voice sounds all 1930s-y.
Yeah, so you did a bunch of those side-by-sides in your review, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, and there's like and then there's all these like camera motor noises that'll put over. And again, you can dial that back or put it on stronger if you want. And then on top of that, there's motion sensors of the cameras. If you bonk or shake the camera or you're moving with it or something, it will actually replicate period-specific digital effects, right? So I guess my point is like, yeah, it's gimmicky, but it's fun. And like the 1950s setting looks like you're watching the moon landing on TV, right? And like the 1990s, it looks like you're using a mini DV camcorder from the 90s, which a lot of us had that experience. And so yeah, you're limited to 15-second clips. Using the app, you could only make these 30 seconds long at the max. And I'm
sure that's because of the way that they've designed it to be on their servers. Like,
yes. Yeah. I mean, you can take these video clips and edit them in Final Cut or something afterwards and make longer clips if you want, but you get to relive those sort of like childhood videos, right? You can be Clark Griswold stuck in an attic watching old films on a bed sheet. You know what I mean? Like
reference.
it's pretty cool that way. And so I thought it was fun. We went into Leopold's. I shot a whole bunch of clips just talking about the tavern. You know, the food's great, the beer's great, people are great. Combined it all together on my phone with the app. It's constantly connected by Bluetooth, so it's downloading your videos to your phone when you're shooting them. And then I could edit a little 30-second spot, print out a picture, has a QR code, and then anybody that goes in the bar sees that and clicks on it. They get to watch that little presentation, and Fujifilm's going to keep it on their servers for like 2 years guaranteed kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. That's fun. And it's with full audio, and they can download it and they can share it, and you can make movie poster title cards. There's like 5 different templates, and you can even put text in there and say like,
look how
blah,
excited
blah, blah.
he is about this, Sarah.
Yeah.
Is he convincing you at all, or are you still like, I don't know?
No, I think both of you have. I think the problem is that I haven't necessarily brought it out in public that much. And I think I haven't had that shared experience of like other people being excited and like being able to share prints with other people. That makes a lot of sense. Because you're right, Chris, there are a lot of features. There's also the zoom, like you can make it look like a home movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's so many permutations, and it's like Instax Mini has never been about photographic quality. That you're totally missing. Like, I wouldn't take this out and use it as a point and shoot camera, right? Although you could, take 5 megapixel stills. They're whatever, but it's like, it's always been about sharing with people around you. And so this just expands on that to now say, hey, you can also make like little cool vintage home movies and share those with your friends. And it's a neat experience, right? So all of that, all the depth of that, you could spend hours actually, like, I forget exactly what model it was, but it was the Mini Pro, right? It had like the cool like light leak effects you could put on your shots and stuff, but they were always repetitive. You kind of ran out of it. Even the X-Half, same thing. It's like, yeah, it's a fun gimmick. And after a while, you're like, I've run out of things I can do on this, but this camera could keep you busy for a while. I think it's an awesome like party camera. You pull it out and everybody's gonna be like, whoa, this is so cool and so tactile. And it's not just like a one button experience like most Instax cameras are. So I don't know. It's weird that I'm defending this. This is so.
It is very strange.
So
would you
messed up.
say that Fujifilm is learning like pretty rapidly from products that they've released and adapting things that they've seen on like the responses to their products and doing something with that response? Because
no,
to me,
I feel
this
like
camera looks a lot like it has a lot of the industrial design and feel that was in the X-Half.
Yeah.
And the X-Half took a lot from existing Fujifilm products and just kind of tweaked it a little bit.
It's beautiful. I mean, even the green nods on there to the Fujifilm Cinema line, hot, right?
Love it.
Like these
More
little
green,
nods
please.
that you notice. Yeah, it's awesome. And like whoever designed it did a great job physically. It feels good. I hate the internal battery, but whatever, And the viewfinder sucks, but you have the magnifier on there, which again makes it an interactive experience, right? Which is cool. I don't know, man. I think Fujifilm has thrown a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. They're taking a lot of risks right now. I think they must have had an internal meeting where they're like, this quarter or this year or this annual year, we are going to take serious risks and see what's good and what's not. And they haven't all stuck.
The idea you had was that this was probably aiming for end of year last year, right? And they just didn't quite hit it.
I can't believe they didn't want it to be out for Christmas. I'm sure they did, and they just couldn't get it all together. But
that would have made last year particularly interesting from a risk-taking perspective, because the GFX 100 RF, the X-Half, and then this all in 1 year would have been like, and then the Eterna all in 1 year. What was that, Sarah?
The XE5 as well.
Yeah.
G5,
Yeah. Like, you might be onto something, Chris, but it's like, let's be weird. Let's try things, see what works. And to their credit, most of it has worked, not in every region. But like everything they've released has been popular to a certain degree. That's nice.
I think this will be very popular.
I think so too. I think the one thing. I mean, they're never pocketable anyways. Any of the cameras, like you always have to accommodate the film, so it's always going to be somewhat large. So it's like if anybody is looking or hasn't bought an Instax camera yet and wants something for around the house and parties and stuff, I would say this is a great way to go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
This
Oh,
was
this
nice.
is the other thing. This is the other thing got announced, right?
Yes.
It's been out for a little
sorry.
while, yeah.
No.
The other one is the printer, which is not a camera, just a printer. But this one came out end of last year, which is cool. It actually was like, when I first heard about the cinema camera, I was like, oh, wait, that sounds really familiar, because this one is kind of the same, except instead of video, it's just sound. So it scans with a QR code just like this one, but you hear 3 seconds of sound of like when you took the photo instead of like a full on video, which is kind of cool.
So you can like take a picture of yourself, put it on the fridge, say like, I love you, honey, or have a great day or whatever kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
which is kind of cute.
And that's actually what you could do with this new camera too, right? So now the idea is you could make a video clip 15 seconds long or 30 seconds if you want to edit it together, stick that on the fridge and then give them a whole message, right? With video.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Good idea.
That's pretty cool.
Your dad hat is on.
Pretty cool. Right? Yeah, dad hat is totally on. Dad was thinking about it.
What's the name of that other camera, Sarah? Just for those listening.
It is the Mini Play Plus.
Play.
It actually has a big
Play.
screen, which is nice.
It does. It has a nice big
Play.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also
So
has
that's
like
cool.
it also has a selfie camera. So it has a camera here, and then it also has a camera on the front. So there's this one feature you can do where you can take a selfie and then it overlays on the background image. It's not at the same time, not like dual capture, but you take the selfie camera, then you take the back camera, and then it like puts it together in one photo.
That's neat.
Fujifilm is trying basically
Yeah.
every wild idea they
Correct.
can think of when it comes to
Yeah.
Instax. Because they know Instax is like a cash cow. So they just keep trying new things. Because how many Instax products are there now?
Oh, God, there's way too many. There's way
There's got
too
to be
many.
a bazillion.
Because they're all a vector to sell film.
More than
It's-
current
it's-
Sony models.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
it's
complain
obscene.
that the regular Fujifilm line is too big, but geez, if you included Instax in there,
Correct.
ooh.
It's a vector to sell film. But that's why I like the cinema. It's like, it's an Evo model, so you're not committed to wasting film. You can like look through your shots and say, that's the one I want to print. I love that. I hate the ones where it always prints. I hate that.
Yep.
So I feel like the cinema, you could do everything. If you had it at your house, you could break it out and do stills with it. They're perfectly fine. I know it's a weird, awkward way to shoot stills because you got to go sideways, Jordan, but you can do it and they'll be fine. And then you can print out like any Evo camera and you can apply all these decade filters to those photos, right? So you have all these different looks that you can play with. And then on top of that, you can make videos. And on top of that, you can send photos to this thing as a printer. So it kind of is your 3-in-1 does everything.
Chris, do you have a favorite filter?
I liked all the vintage stuff. 1940s was pretty cool. Like it's got a really neat color. Yeah, really neat color. It's soft if you really crank it up. 50s was a little bit specific, but 40s was fun. I liked the 70s one, the 60s one. They all looked, actually, I thought they looked pretty cool, pretty accurate to the period.
The audio was fun too. There was some where it's just like, wow, that audio sounds like
The 30s like gave him a mid-Atlantic kind of. Well, I'm coming up next.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Were you not affecting your speech that strongly?
I was.
You were
I
a
was.
little bit, but
Yes,
but it made
It
that
accentuates
sound.
it.
Yeah, it was neat.
And you get
That
the
was cute.
sound over top. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fun.
cool.
It's fun. It's silly fun, right? But you could sit there for hours and play with it. So then you're like, well, that's what these cameras are about. They're about being fun. They're about sharing with people. And then I just felt that this had more versatility than you normally get of an Instax. They're still pre-pro. I mean, again, you should watch the video and see the review. Like they're still pre-pro. So there's issues. They're slow. I don't like the internal battery. I really like removable batteries. You're going to have to be diligent about keeping this thing charged up. Battery life's not great.
It's not great.
But it's fun. It's fun. It's a party camera. It's a birthday party or wedding or like travel. Like, I think Jordan and I were talking about like you go to an Airbnb and leave your people, your
cute.
renters, like a little fun message like, hey, thanks so much. We had a great time, blah, blah, blah. Like just cute stuff like that. I'm sure businesses could use this for very interesting promotions and stuff like that too. So lots of
I want to give people a peek behind the curtain. I was filming Chris editing his video in the bar. That's in the episode. And that is not a put on smile. He was like fully grinning, like, while he was messing around with his phone, putting this little montage together. And
So
that
funny.
is the highest praise a product could get.
There you go.
What a bizarro world.
Did you
where
make
Chris
a
is
little
over
movie
here.
poster cover too?
I did. It said like you can do text, right? So it said like PetaPixel presents, and then you do like great beer, great food, great people. Like, you do all this kind of stuff on there, right? Like, I shouldn't be the one liking this. This is so weird. Maybe it's made for nostalgic old people and not like young crowds. Maybe they made
new
it too
leaf for
nostalgic.
2026. Chris is now fun, gimmicky Chris.
No. I'll be right back to miserable grumpy. But like. I don't go for gimmicks, but I will go for depth. And this camera has depth. Nobody can deny that. This camera has depth. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to move on. I have a hard stop, so we can't keep going forever. So let's go to what have you been up to? And we're going to start with Sarah. Sarah, it has been a while since you've been on the podcast. What have you been up to?
Oh gosh. Well, I guess in the new year, actually not that much, which has been really nice because I've kind of been stuck in New York and for a while for me, and that feels really good because I can just catch up with everything logistically, personal admin, and also just like catch up with people. Right before Christmas, I went to the Dolomites in Italy and I learned how to snowboard. So that was really fun. Chris, you're a snowboarder?
No. It just sounds like you're living a great life right now.
I'm the snowboarder.
Oh, okay. Let's go, Jordan. We're still on the same team.
Yeah.
You and I probably have the same amount of snowboarding experience now, and I don't know how your butt was, but mine was bruised and broken after I tried it.
It was tough. Yeah, my butt had a big bruise on it, and then also my knees because you fall one or the other.
Totally.
But it was so fun. I loved it.
It is fun. Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. And then other than that,
what a place to learn to ski too. Just like learn to ski in the Dolomites.
It was going to come out to the same price if we had gone anywhere in the U.S. because the U.S. has gotten so expensive. So we were like, man,
it must help that you're on the East Coast because you're so close to Europe.
Very
it's not
close.
that far.
It was like less than 7 hours.
That's an insane journey for me. Like I couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, but you could go to like Asia,
Canada.
Well, I mean, that's the plan. I hope, Sarah.
There is
We're going to
skiing
go skiing
in Canada.
Japan.
We are.
Yeah, we could go skiing in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Other than that, what else did I do? I don't even remember. Oh, I was in Asia also for a little bit before Italy. I went to Vietnam, and that was amazing. And I took a lot of photos there. And then I went to Taiwan for a wedding. And then, I did some domestic travel after that. And then I went to Italy. So it's been nice kind of starting the year out a little slower. But it's definitely picking up. But that's what I've been up to.
We should just let Sarah do the what have you been up to because I don't want to go after that. Like,
yeah, well, Chris, what have you been up to?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing. Yeah, it's been snowing outside. We watched the Golden Globes, which was fun together. Jordan, our family, and my family, and that's it.
Have you guys seen Heated Rivalry?
Sarah, do under no circumstances.
We don't have time. I watched the first couple episodes with my wife, and I'm like, and it was whatever. Like, I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it because it's
you
not
have to
like
get past episode 2. Actually, after episode 2, I feel like
that's
it really
what I hear. Because it's not like well done TV. Like it's.
Just you wait.
Is this
I know,
the one?
Right? I'm missing out.
Is this the?
It's a hockey show. It's all about hockey.
Is it the gay hockey show?
Yes,
just
the gay
hockey.
show.
Okay, my wife she calls it the Gay Hockey Boys show. She says the first 2 episodes, you have to get past the first 2 episodes because she says it's like softcore porn. And then it becomes actually a story after that.
And it's a very good story.
Okay.
That's what everybody says.
It actually I think episode 5 in the series, there's only 6 episodes. Episode 5 got 10 out of 10 on IMDb. Like highest rated.
Huh, interesting.
Anyways, continue.
And, Jordan, anything to add to what Chris has been up to? What have you been up to?
So I've actually taken it fairly easy over the break, which is something I aspired to do, and I'm thrilled I've been able to. If you haven't tried hanging out with your family, big recommendation from me. I can promote that as an activity. Big ups. And the pit is back, thank God.
Yeah,
so now I just sit there waiting for more pit. So if you haven't watched it already, good God, it's amazing. And second season started strong, so
I hope so. The first episode I felt was a bit of a sleeper, but we're trying to get back into everything and stuff. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
The first season was transplendent.
Transplendent.
Yeah, first season was transplendent.
I redid my office. So
Yes, you
for
did.
anyone who's been watching so far, this is a completely different perspective, and it looks much larger because I have
Just
now
like in Evo Cinema, there's so much more depth now.
I apparently had the worst possible conceivable layout before because now I have like actual floor space, which I didn't have before. That's like I could have fooled myself into thinking this room was smaller. And then, so I know Jordan for sure doesn't really like Mr. Robot. I happen to really like the show Mr. Robot, and it was on Netflix for like 4 months. They brought it back, and then they're like, nah, we don't want this anymore, so it's gone. And so we were almost through a rewatch, and Netflix is like, they pulled the plug, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of streaming. So I bought that boy on Blu-ray.
Yeah, physical media.
And I have been using my Sony Blu-ray player.
Welcome to the
watch
winning team, Jaron. It's
And
better over here.
It's been nice. I don't love that I have to change the discs out so frequently. I wish there was more available on those discs, but I understand. That's not how that works.
I'm convinced Jordan hates Rami Malek. I'm convinced. Because
Really?
he didn't like Queen. He said it was a terrible performance. I totally disagree with him.
I think
on that.
Bohemian Rhapsody is a
Bohemian
bad
Rhapsody.
movie, and I think he's good in it, but
he did a
not
great
amazing.
job.
I
And you don't like
last
Mr.
night-
Robot.
I watched probably one of the best singular episodes of any television show. And I think my favorite episode of the entirety of Mr. Robot was last night. And it's in season 3. And it's because this show is about like mental trauma and having and depression.
Oh, I don't want to watch that.
through the lens of techno hacking and stuff. But
It's
it's
called
really
a mirror.
a story
Jared.
about
That's called a
people.
mirror.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And last night's episode, it's in season 3. There's an episode about he essentially is contemplating suicide, and it's about choosing to live. And it's a really, really good episode. If you have not seen Mr. Robot, please watch it if you can. The Blu-ray was not that expensive. And if you don't like Mr. Robot, well, you're wrong.
Go watch
Jordan,
Heated
stop hating
Rivalry.
Rami Malek. Okay, stop. Or watch Heated Rivalry. Yeah.
We have time for just a few of these before I have my hard stop.
What?
So let's do some tech support. This is an email from Amaro, and the timing is so great because Amaro writes, "Hello, PetaPixel Papas and potentially Sarah, who is here. I recently hopped aboard the film bandwagon and picked up a sexy little Olympus Pen Gothic F half frame with a 38mm f1.8. I'm absolutely in love with it, and going from mirrorless to the constraints of a fully mechanical camera is a lot of fun, but I've got questions. This body only goes to 1/500th shutter speed, which means stopping down a lot in bright sunlight. Is an ND or variable ND a good idea for shooting film in bright light? Were ND filters a common thing for film photography back in the day? Also, the world of film stocks is very confusing in the year of our Lord 2025. Yes, I know, I'm still stuck on 2025 tech support. For a noob, do you have any go-to recommendations for affordable-ish film that's usually available in the US nowadays, ideally online? I'm mainly interested in everyday black and white 100 film and a color film specifically for a trip I'm taking to Maine during the fall foliage season that we entirely missed helping you out on. And one question for Jordan so he doesn't feel left out. Favorite Nikon picture control for the straight-out of camera video? Thanks, y'all. Love what you do. Best, Amaro." Chris, ND filters.
ND filters are still absolutely useful, and it's exactly why you would use them, because you're shooting in brighter light. You don't have a shutter speed that's able to give you that without stopping the aperture heavily down. So an ND filter lets you do that. We use them all the time for video, for film, for digital. It's still very useful. You can, of course, also use them to purposefully slow your shutter speed down to do motion blur effects. But yes, if you have a camera, even 1,000th of a second can be frustrating.
Yep.
That's why modern cameras go 4 and 8,000th. That helps. But even then, if I'm shooting a 1.4 or 1.2 lens, I might still want an ND filter in those situations. So super useful. My recommendation for cheap black and white everyday 100 speed film, although all the speeds are good, Kent Mir actually make a
Kent
really
Mir
nice
Pan
black and white.
is fantastic. Actually, the
Yeah.
Pan 200 is my
cheap.
favorite.
Super cheap.
And it's cheap. Good general purpose, no surprises, but nice film. Yeah.
Kodak Gold and Kodacolor are both also great. I actually happen to very much like Kodacolor, which is the rebranded Color Plus, but it's available in 1 and 2, and I like them both.
Probably nice for fall.
I did a story on Kodacolor right before Christmas where I went and I shot a full roll on my TX1, and I was going back and forth between the panoramic and standard, and I just
Those
like
look good.
every picture. Yeah, it's just fun. It's a nice. I don't think they'd be fantastic for fall colors. I think I'd recommend Ektar. It's more expensive.
Ektar's good, yeah.
Ektar's really good for fall color.
Yeah, it's pricey.
Sarah, any additions to this?
No, but I guess if you're using an ND filter, you just have to meter and then calculate how many stops of extra that you need.
Is it Is it doing it through the lens?
It all depends whether it goes through the lens or not. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know on the Olympus Pen. Yeah.
Jordan, what's your favorite picture control for Nikon straight out of camera video?
Super easy. Flat for color, which is not that flat. It's a great straight out of camera look. I enjoy it very much. And their default monochrome profile is one of the best black and white profiles where you don't have to touch it. Looks fantastic straight out of camera. Done.
Perfect. I had him in here, and for some reason it didn't load right. Let me see if I can bring him back in this time. Dave sent us a speak pipe, which is like the simplest, fastest question. There we go. Hitting live. Dave.
You mentioned a Haiti brand tripod, which had 3 separate parts to the center column, period. How do you spell that? As I couldn't find any listed for it on the internet.
Heipi.
HEIPI, right?
That's correct. And if you can vamp, I was going to have this tripod here so I could read the model number, and I didn't grab it. So say things about tripods that you like really quick while I go.
Let me see if I can.
Can I talk about my T-shirt? Let's talk about my T-shirt.
Okay. Quickly talk about your not famous photographer T-shirt while Jordan's looks.
Yeah. So there's a company called Harper Finch. They make photographic T-shirts. There's so many cool patterns. I just stumbled upon them. Instagram can sometimes be useful, and there's some fun stuff. So I'm going to be wearing a whole bunch of Harper Finch T-shirts on the podcast so you guys can see some examples, but there's some really fun stuff. And yes,
Harper
Finch? Famous photographer Chris Niccolls. And so some of them you can even do text. So there's a couple of custom PetaPixel ones and stuff you're going to see. So they're coming out. There's some neat stuff. Harper Finch T-shirts.
Where did this come from? How did they reach out to you?
No. I found them on Instagram and I was like, hey, I was like, can you send me some T-shirts? I'll wear them on the podcast. I think these are hilarious. So I chose a bunch and they sent them to me. And yeah, there's a lot on there.
I've seen this Roz one, which is like the Jaws poster.
Yeah. But Roz? Yeah.
I've seen that before.
We're going to need a bigger memory card. Yeah.
Look, these are the types of designs that I wanted for the PetaPixel merch store. Maybe Harper Finch wants to work with us and we can do some stuff together. That might be better.
You should definitely check them out if you haven't already. Okay, Jordan, you have that tripod?
It's a W28, a Heipi W28.
There you go.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right, let's do one more. This one is from Karsten from Germany.
Hi, PetaPixel team. This is Carsten from Germany, long-time viewer and highly appreciating your show and watching every episode. Not a question, but just want to say thank you for inspiration on a recent trip to Japan. Was looking out for the gachas of the cameras. It took me like a week to find one and got finally a Panasonic camera. Very nice, and as you talked about this a couple of months ago from one of your trips to Japan, was a really good inspiration. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Bye-bye from Germany.
I just thought that was nice. Thank you very much, Karsten. Yeah, the gachas are fun.
We don't have time for Sebastian's, hey?
No, I have to jump, unfortunately. But we will end with a feel-good story of the week. Chris, you'll remember I pointed this out to you. So for anyone who's old enough to remember Radio Shack, just close your eyes and remember walking into a Radio Shack. Sarah, did you ever see a Radio Shack? Did you ever go into one?
Radio Shack.
Okay. In order to get to the things you really wanted at Radio Shack, you did have to walk through that entrance area. And what they always did was pack that full of no-name garbage versions of stuff you could find, like a bad remote controlled car, a bad everything. Like, and you know what? Radio Shack might have gone out of business in the United States, but that whole brand was purchased by a company out of like South America or something. They are keeping that spirit alive because they released their catalog for 2026, and this thing is like 50 pages of trash, and I loved every single page.
But it's trash. Okay.
Oh, but it's all hot garbage.
Yeah.
There's like their version of an Instax camera, which looks like an otter, and it like spits out camera. Like,
this is the one you're like, Chris,
I might buy this for you. It's only like $12 or something stupid like that. I'm going to make you review it. They have like a GoPro knockoff. They have like 4 different types of lavalier microphones that are all not name brand. They're just Radio Shack mics. They're all going to be trash. They have a drone.
The Planet calls me on the phone and she's like, Chris, like I'm crying right now. This is horrible. And I'm like, I'm trying to get people to stop buying cameras with internal batteries. I keep saying it, but nobody listens. Like, I'm sorry, you're gonna die. And she's like, that's I guess my future, and I don't know what to do about it.
Wow. Well, that wasn't necessarily very feel good. But yeah.
So is this kind of like Temu or Alibaba Express, like that kind of feel?
Well,
like
but
a
the
website?
thing is, back in 1998, like that just was what Radio Shack was doing. So this is not a new thing for them. They would always have off-brand crummy stuff that was like.
Can I still go buy transistors on the website, or like holders for my AA batteries that I can then solder into place? Like
RadioShack.com.
I couldn't find an RCA cable or a FireWire modulator, 4-pin. Nothing.
They got pet feeders. They got air pump. Like it sounds kind of like Temu or Amazon or whatever, but you can
still buy some weird adapter. They sell they are selling a universal power cord, like for printers, because you're going to lose that cable if you like ever unplug it.
I have a box. I have a box, and I kept every single one since 1997.
They sell Ethernet cables still. Like they still have the Radio Shack stuff, but they also have their garbage. And I think it's cute that Radio Shack continues to sell garbage.
A DJI Mavic drone knockoff for $150? Dear Lord, I'm sure.
Do they sell shirts? I would rock a Radio Shack shirt 100%.
I would too, actually.
A lot of these brands they should do what Kodak did and just get into merch, right?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but they're also using the Radio Shack name on a lot of products on here, right? Like
it's the Radio
Shack.
Shack.
They all have Radio Shack on it.
Yeah.
Oh, they all say Radio Shack. Oh, my God.
What was their GoPro knockoff name? It was like Motion Vision Action something.
It was called the True Limitless. Radio Shack True Limitless. Yeah. Anyway, very funny. I covered my favorite ones, and I made a fun graphic at the top of it in our story.
It's very adorable. I don't know if I feel good anymore. But
I like sassy Jaron articles when you're feeling just a little. I'm gonna have some fun with this one, and there's a little sass there. I enjoy those.
Trash. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks, Sarah.
We're gonna try and do a podcast next week. We will see. We got a busy travel schedule again already so fast, but we will for sure be back on the 28th. Thanks so much for joining us, Sarah. It was nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yay.
And thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.